Hey, welcome back. I'm going to go back and look at a project we did a couple of updates ago, and that was the old South Church. I like to put a little bit of interior in it and maybe some dim lighting in there, so that'll be the project here. I've got some interior parts printed out. This was the base plate for the church anyway. I did make some pews. We'll get a small table in there, a few other devices, so I'd like to get these installed inside also. So let's continue on with this project, see how it goes. Well, I just want to interrupt just for just a moment here, tell you a little quick story that this holiday I was down in the train room. I came down the train room and my granddaughter, 12 years old, has taken a liking to photography. She's got her camera, and she was in taking different shots. So I just wanted to show a couple of those, and I'm just happy that she's taken an interest in what I do, and she enjoyed filming. So I said I was going to use a few of those in my video. Anyway, okay, let's get on with the lighting project for the church. Well, I've got the floor laid out here. I put some very light guidelines on here, and I'm going to put the church pews in. I've got 10 of them. Be 5 on each side, and then we'll continue on up front. Okay, we've got the furniture in. We're continuing on here. I'm just putting these down with some CA glue. I started off with the LED to trying to figure out how much light intensity I wanted. I took one of the little surface mounted LEDs and attached a couple wires to it. To do this, you need a low temperature soldering iron. It doesn't take much heat. A very fine point on it, and I've just got a couple 28 gauge wire here just to sample it. We're going to take and put a resistor in line. Brightness is regulated by that. Do not go any lower than a 1K resistor. I'm actually going to try here first about 5 point something. So. And you can go all the way up to make these fairly dim. So let me hook the power supply up to it, and we'll see how it looks. On the LED, the negative side, if you look at the back of the LED, there'll be a very small notch taken out of one of the corners. That is the negative side. Positive side, we have a 5.6 K resistor in there, 12 volts, and that's fairly bright, but you never know until you get it inside the building. So to really dim that down, probably a 10K up in that area will do that. So I have cut out a small piece of wood to go up in the top of that building, and I'm going to lay the resistors. Use a resistor for each LED that you want to do. If you're only going to put one light in a building, you just need the one. But if you use multiple LEDs, provide a resistor for each positive leg. You can tie the grounds together and bring them back. Okay, I've got my material here, using actually 1.8 K resistors. Get the LED a little bit brighter. I've got my 2 surface mounts here, and what I've done is I've taken a black marker, if I can pick this one up, and I've actually put a black dot just on that side there, just to make sure I don't get them mixed up. So that's the negative side, that's the cathode side. The positive lead will go in on the anode side. I use a piece of masking tape to hold everything in position while I'm soldering, and then I'll transfer it up here to the board. I positioned the 2 LEDs about where I want to mount those on the board on a piece of tape to hold them in position. the cathode side or the negative back to our power supply. I'm going to use a very thin piece of copper wire to go in there. Can't tell you what gauge that is. Interesting story on how I found this, but anyway, another time. So that will go across there, and then I've got the two resistors, and we'll put one on one side and one on the other to take the positive back. Recommend pre-tinning everything you do. That way it'll take less heat to actually attach them to the LEDs. So, and be very careful when you, it doesn't take much solder to go onto those pads. So just be careful with the heat. Got the negative lead soldered in, the two resistors on the positive side. Left this wire on just to do some testing with. I'm going to turn this over. We'll put some 12 volts to it, and then we'll transfer it over here. And the last thing I'll do is I'll transfer the positive and negative lead that are going to actually come out of the building. Okay, I've turned it over and hooked up the negative side. We will try the positive side here just to make sure everything. And there we have the two lights. I went a little bit brighter. The windows are tinted in this building, so need a little bit more in there. Transfer that now to the board, and we'll put the positive and negative lead on and see how it looks. Okay, we've got our wires soldered in, a little hot glue to hold everything in place. And now I'm going to take this piece and we'll transfer that up into the overhead of the church. For that I'm just going to use some yellow glue. Okay, we have the board in the overhead there and brought the wires down alongside the wall there. So we're going to put the bottom back on, and we'll go put some power to this and see how it looks. And here's the church lit. And I just have it sitting on my layout. I don't really have a spot. I didn't plan for one. I enjoyed building this kit. It came out very nice. Okay, this is going to bring a close to the Old South Church project. Now that we have the lighting in there. Hopefully I've given you a few tips on using the surface mounted LEDs for your building lighting. Besides I use bright white in here. They also make a cool, or it has slightly a yellow tint to it, yellowish tint. So you could use those also. This footprint on this building is 4 inches by 2.5. I did not plan ahead on putting this. I came into the building. I wanted to put it together. I am willing to offer that to my viewing community. If you'd like to have this for your layout, please drop me an email. I'll wait a period of time, and I'll put those names in a hat. I'll draw one out, and I'm more than willing to send this to you. So I'll put my email address down in the comment section. So if you'd like to have that, please let me know. My next project, I've actually got to get back to, I don't know if you saw my video 6-8 months ago on my uncoupling system that I use for my N-Gage system. But it involves Arduino and servos, and I've got half the layout done, but the other side, the other half, I want to get in and complete that. It's going to take a little bit of wiring, and it's going to take me some time, so it may be a couple weeks before I get another video out. Next project, haven't quite decided. I'd like to get a little bit of signaling on my layout. The thing was there, I did not plan when I put this layout together block systems, and I have to go back in and isolate some blocks gonna have to add some more isolators in the track to get those sections kind of isolated, and then I want to look at signals, and I'm not quite sure exactly what type I want to use. There is an interesting one out there that a fellow makes. You have to put it together, and I think I may try to do that. So anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you did, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. So thank you very much for viewing. Have a great day.